Welcome back to Crypto's Key Conversation. It's getting late. I'm tired, but I definitely want to put out this content, man, and touch on what we've been touching on since yesterday. The community has been going crazy about all these smoking guns, and we have Steven Narioff coming out and being this, beacon of light in all this darkness and madness we've been dealing with, and all this shady stuff that's been bestowed upon us as the XRP community. Obviously, we knew the writing was on the wall, right? But we didn't know that this would come this soon and this heavy. So JD right here says if everything works out, I'll have a big announcement this Friday, and he put big in all caps. And no, I'm not suing anyone yet. If everything works out, I'll have a big announcement this Friday, and no, I'm not suing anyone yet. Heat's real, and I said that yesterday. It is crazy. Continuing on here, so remember I covered this in yesterday's video. JD saying, I usually don't share private conversations, but I reached out to Steven Aroff to see if he would come on Crypto Law US. I warned him, however, that unlike the SEC and him, I would not give him a free pass on crypto law, as I would ask him tough questions such as disguised wells and who must have made millions from it. I'll be honest, I assumed Narioff was one of them and warned him that if he came on my show, I wouldn't dance around the topic. He told me that he turned down the ETH offer to him, and that he actually spent his own money because he believed in what they were attempting to do. I said BS, and then he then responded that I, of all people, should understand why someone would do something he believed in for free. Although I admitted that that was a good response, I remained skeptical. Under agreement of confidentiality, he showed me proof of his claims, which involved emails with as high up the ETH chain of command as you can get. At some point, I hope to have him on. So coming down here, there was a conversation talking about where the maps of where the body's located. Is there a map? And then Steven Narioff says, I have the map. And then look, you got Mr. Intuitive making fun out of it. But like this parody and this memery is so accurate. I have the map. Well, what's up? Is him and JD, cooking something up? Like, what's happening? Obviously, I think it was Steven Arioff's representative, like legal representative, was talking about he's going to do things kind of like the right way, and I guess by the bounds of what's going to, I guess surface justice. So maybe they're going to like trickle things out every now and then, or over time. Maybe it's just not all at once, but who knows? What's this big announcement that JD's talking about, man? Brian Costello says, who is running SEC, Gary Gensler? Or is it Xi Jinping and the CCP interlocutor, Hang Paulson? Gensler, April 2023 schedule shows repeated meetings with Paulson. Why is Gensler burying Chinese executives' misconduct? Is Paulson FARA compliant while seemingly working to safeguard elite donors' investments in China? See, look, I was even struggling and fumbling through this whole post because this is just crazy. Like the fact that why is Chairman Gensler, like he can't meet and let alone even respond to over 75,000 everyday investors, the people that he so-called set out to protect. He can't even respond or even acknowledge what's happening, right? With just the class action lawsuit part of things, right? And JD and the 75,000 plus of us. But he's having these secret meetings that he's trying to hide, and he's trying to suppress his calendar, which is supposed to be public. He's meeting with Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX and all these other China CCP, involved companies and parties. Like, doesn't that like ring a bell? I mean, obviously Congress sees all this information. Like, why hasn't anything happened? And this is literally an unelected bureaucrat. I mean, it is crazy. So continuing on, the reason why I put this on here is because it's just adding more fuel to the fire that's already just blazing. It's already blowing. JD response says, where there is so much smoke, you very well know there's fire. Michael Burry had put this up, speaking of fire. Remember when Charles Hoskinson called this conspiracy theorist? It says Cardano finally dismissed the notion of Ethereum bribing the SEC to target Ripple and XRP, labeling it a baseless conspiracy theory. And the crazy thing is like, Charles is somebody that in the community, for the most part, from what I've gotten, I mean, I kind of, kind of held Charles and, Ada, and I had Charles kind of high when it came to, I guess you could say the figures within the space, right? The builders and, you could say the leaders of these blockchains, right? And these digital assets. But it's like when that happened, it was like, whoa. Like it almost made me, in a sense, kind of question myself a little bit. Like, dang, well, if Charles is saying this, I know this is some truth to this, but like, why would he say that? But then again, like, we have the information we have that's undisputed. That's not in dispute, right? No one's challenged the facts, even him. You just call us baseless conspiracy theorists. And then obviously we torched him as a community and hit him with facts. And then it came back full circle when the SEC was going after them, right? And they were under the fire and under the microscope. I mean, this is just funny, man. This what did they say? This didn't age well, if you will. And the reason why I'm saying this is adding more fuel to the fire. Mr. Intuitive hit it on the head right here. He says, the time has come. Hashtag ETHgate. 138,000 posts. Business and Finance trending, and I'm assuming this is on the X.com platform, hashtag ETHgate. I mean, we've been talking about this for years, even just on this channel. It's crazy, man. Wheezy X had put this up, and I'm not going to read this whole document here, but Michael Scotto had put this up, and Wheezy X says, wow, and this is, hey lady, I'm going to just say lady, was an informant of the SECs that basically framed Steven Narioff. Wow, the POSs, and he says, I'm not talking about proof of stake. So he's talking about just the shady actors, right? And he goes, isn't this nuts? And they knew he was innocent, but pressed on with perjury charges anyways. So obviously we covered that in yesterday's video, and he was talking about, I guess, him and his attorney were talking about how he just won, the battle of a lifetime, right? And obviously the truth and he was on the right side of the law and the right side of history, and he had the truth on his side. And obviously now he's coming back with a vengeance. Case in point, he knows he has the map, right? Where's the bodies buried? He has the map. DAI had put this up, and he's talking about how to create a monopoly cartel. And he says, step 1, disguise Ethereum wells in the ICO. Step 2, work with the government to get the Ethereum free pass, creating cartel monopoly. Step 3, slam the door on everyone else. Ripple lawsuit, regulatory capture, right? And we're talking about regulatory capture 2.0 now at this point. It says step 4, Ethereum merge. Step 5, never ever let anyone know who those disguised wells were. I mean, hey, it might be showtime for us. It might start coming out. I mean, it's already we've already been validated even more, right? This is what JD said. This was a piece that was missing, was someone that was actually in there, right? As we say, a whistleblower, someone that was actually completely a part of it all, right? Type vibe. So it's like, we already knew we had the facts that weren't in dispute. No one was going against it or saying that it was false. They were just throwing these wild accusations at us, calling us conspiracy theorists, right? Wild speculators. But like now we have that. So you talk about the writing being on the wall, man. It's out there. It's already rolling. And then like stuff like this, obviously Hester Pierce going out, she'll say all the right things. I don't support filing a company $10 million for not disclosing what its director didn't tell it, but this is what we did today, right? She was saying all these great things, right? And she could be doing good things behind the scene, which she could be a good actor, but like that was all it was. It was like just as bad as the letters. It's like it's a bunch of words and letters that like Congress does. It's like, okay, when are you going to actually take action? Wheezy X says, since you have refused to whistleblow on the corrupt current and former officials at the SEC, we have had to wait for someone else brave enough to expose the not so good officials who have colluded with China to give them a monopoly and leave America behind. Treasonists. So this isn't the first time we've heard this word. And when you throw terms like this out, I mean, you gotta have the utmost confidence and indisputable facts on your side, which we know we have. So these terms have been thrown out, and it's going to be quite interesting, man, as things unravel here. And speaking of SEC, man, they keep taking L. So Eleanor Terry put this up. It says, ahead of today's hearing, the SEC has filed a reply in support of the motion to compel. The agency notes that accelerating mass exodus of Binance U.S. employees who may possess crucial information, custody, control, and availability of assets. And then you have this right here. Judge declines SEC's request to inspect Binance U.S. Just more L's, more L's. And obviously when it comes to Binance U.S. and just Binance in general, you have the DOJ being involved. And I mean, people have been talking about, a black swan coming and Obviously Tether stuff's been coming out, and FTX is selling this and that. I mean, there's so much like built up stress and FUD, and you have the bears. Oh, we're going to 12K. All these different things. Whatever happens is gonna happen, right? I've been in this space long enough to know there's ebbs and flows to this thing. So it's like you got to stay true to your strategy, profit taking, and investing in general. Just that strategy, staying true to yourself. And then the psychological part of it, man, is you got to realize that this is part of the game. Being this early, which we are early, being this early, it's going to be super volatile. So things are going to happen. So what did that's a little cheesy line, if you can't take the heat, get out the kitchen. That's just how it really is. And yeah, I know for people like myself that have experience in this space, like it's with respect to people being hurt and our portfolios being devastated, like it is quite laughable. They think they can scare us away, man. We're not some sheep like they think we are. It says, Watcher Guru, it says, just in 1.72 trillion asset manager Citigroup launches digital token and private blockchain system for real-time payments. I mean, people have been speculating. What's up, man? When partnership being revealed with Ripple, right? You talk about walled gardens, right? Private blockchain system for real-time payments. I mean, who does that sound like? What does that sound like? Man, Mr. Intuitive hits it on the head. I'm going to end it right here. Look, you have all you need. Get ready. I mean, even just my voice ain't cool enough for it. I think you need like a cool voice and maybe like some background, decadent sounds or something. But like reading that just gives me the chills. It's like, oh snap! Like, let me get my popcorn. What's about to happen? I'm curious to see what's going to happen Friday with JD. Because if he's coming out saying something, obviously he says things got to work out. So obviously he's not like saying it's 100% happening. But if he's coming out saying something and kind of preloading us, oh boy, it's showtime. But I'm going to bed. Make sure you come to the Crypto's Key Conversation YouTube channel. Subscribe, follow us on Twitter or x.com at Crypto's Key 1. I really appreciate your support out there. With all that being said, stay strong out there. Be safe.